Hello, everybody. Welcome to another night of League of Legends Coach Rivals. We are here with some new casters to cast the Tier 1 matches. We're going to have a really great evening as the players are starting to load into the lobby. Let me introduce our two amazing casters today. You haven't seen them before, but we have Slipstream looking sharp, and we have Merlin KL here. How y'all doing tonight? Awesome. So we're going to be getting the first game of Tier 1 action. We are going to be playing Team Eclipse versus Bards of a Feather. Do you know anything about these teams? Master tier, one of the okay, no, this game is Diamond. This group is Gold through Diamond. Yeah, a Diamond 4, I think, in this group. It's gonna be the next game where we do get a Masters player. Um, so really excited to have y'all here. Um, so Slipstream, you played last night. You played in the tier 2. So how did that go for you? Really, yeah.
So I think we were kind of losing it a couple spots there. It was
Yeah.
pretty close game the entire night, though.
Yeah. And Merlin, you didn't play last night. Did you catch any of the match?
I did, and I'm a million-point Malzahar player, so I was excited to see my champ in there, and I felt like he was doing great. I actually didn't catch like the last 10 minutes, but in the mid game after Kale snuck away like for the 8th time in single-digit HP, it was a great match. But Malzahar did well. He had the 2-0 lead and 20-30 CS lead, and I thought for sure he would pull the whole thing off, but ends up going the other way.
Right.
And they almost did. There was, let's see, our opponents, they were on Baron, they were on Soul, they were on Elder, and we just had enough pressure that we backdoored at the last second.
I wish I could have casted that
So-
game. That was something. I watched a little bit after the stream was over, and it was really exciting. But then of course I only casted the first game, and then I couldn't get into the second game just because of timing issues and whatnot. But I'm really excited to be here tonight. Let's go ahead and introduce our teams. We have Bards of a Feather on the blue side and Team Eclipse on the red side. Okay, so let me go ahead and give us a rundown of what that's going to look like. We have Cardi K, Rogue Otter Sones, Fixie Mantella, and Ched, who will be rounding out Bards of a Feather. And then we have Pathfinder, Brute, Bullet Games, Decisions, and Caspi, who will be rounding out Team Eclipse. Go ahead, and what do you think about these teams? How does it look for them?
I have no idea. Go ahead.
So I always like to look in a match with varying elos of like the strong players, because sometimes they're able to kind of take over the match. So we've got Pathfinder on Team Eclipse sitting at Plat 1 top laner. Looks like a Garen Ornn main, definitely strong in the meta. Garen, once he gets ahead, can really snowball a single lane hard. It'll be interesting if he gets that pick, whether he's able to go Hullbreaker or kind of a more conventional build. And Ornn, obviously a great late game scaler if a team wants to play for scaling in the late game. On Bards of a Feather, we're looking at, I think, Cardi K sitting at Plat 4 as an ADC. 43 games on Lucian with a 58% win rate. Definitely a strong contender for that pick potentially. But so looking for some bot pressure in that match.
Now, as you guys are coaches, right? Slipstream, Merlin, KL, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about your programs. Give you a chance to spotlight what you guys do in your programs. Slipstream, what do you do to kind of scout out your opponents before game?
We just put the names in op.gg, and we have a basic session where we figure out picks and bans and how we want to play. If we think we have a strong side or a weak side. Oftentimes my teams are playing into higher skill opponents. And so we'll try to figure out if we can do some cheesy early play or some kind of like aggressive skirmishing style. At TP play, you may have seen last night, I think that's pretty common on my team. We try to generate some numbers advantages by TPing around the map. And so my teams tend to play a lot of just chaotic skirmishes where things are rotating too fast for the more polished players to necessarily expect it and outdo us. That's kind of my coaching style and works well with some of the lower elo players that I coach.
And how about
How
you,
about you,
Merlin?
Merlin?
Yeah.
So I've got a gold, silver, plat master team, and we definitely play around our master jungler. But for us, it's the same. We create scout sheets, look at OP.GGs. I think at the high school level, you really want to ban comfort, one tricks when the opportunity presents itself. And beyond that, figuring out a draft strategy, figuring out favorable lanes, favorable at least 2 out of 3 favorable lanes if you can. And then my brother Sam, who's our jungler, he gets to go on whoever he wants because he's the boss and can carry most games on a variety of different picks.
Fantastic.
But it worked. We won the state championships in Virginia, so it was a really exciting spring season for us.
So now we
That's
know
awesome.
Merlin
Congratulations.
is from Virginia, winning state championships. How did that Playverse Cup go?
We went up against Texas in round 2, and I don't know. I kind of think my brain took a vacation. They were a good team. They didn't make the finals, but they were a super solid team.
I think they made it to the semifinals.
Yeah, they were good.
I
But it
believe
was
that
it was fun.
Yeah. I think it was George Bush High School.
Yeah, that's it.
And we played against them. I'm in Texas, so we played against them, and it was not a very close game. Slipstream, where are you from?
I'm from the Sacramento area. I teach in Roseville.
Okay.
Our program's been going about 4 years now. We're in Play BS as well now. We started out with NASEF. Did a
Oh,
little
yeah,
with
great
UFEA
program.
this season, which is pretty awesome.
Fantastic. Okay. And we're trying to just like kill some time, talk about our programs. A great highlight to make it to the second round of the Playverse Cup. What is that? Top 50 in the United States? That's
Mm.
okay. I don't know about y'all, but every single time it's all about promotion of our programs. Okay. So one of the things that I do to promote my program is I tell my admin and anyone who's listening about how undefeated we are, not counting any no shows or forfeits that might have happened. Or I say things like, oh yeah, we finished top 16 in the state when our league only had like 30 teams, something like that, right? I make it as amazing sounding as I can. Because my players are amazing. They do amazing things for our program. What do y'all do to kind of promote your programs?
Like you mentioned, we had a top 16 in California Rocket League finish this fall. We had a second place in California Division 2 Overwatch with NASEF a few years back. So we've had a couple high performing teams. But I think the thing that actually brought us the most support was winning the Hype Video Grand Prize a few years back. We got a ton of peripherals from Play Versus as that prize, and so we've basically got our keyboards, mouse, headsets, mouse pads from that, along with a little extra fundraising. So that was awesome. And then, of course, the like forward-facing part of our team is the Twitch stream and the webpage. So we're always working on new media and new content and trying to up our game, which is, of course, like one of the things that I love about Coach Rivals. It brings together a whole bunch of different coaches who all have different experience. I am just learning a ton in the like Discord background chatter of like, how do you do this? What does this look like with more than one person running a stream or cast? Because I'm used to solo casting. This is amazing.
The handoffs guys are going to be a little rough tonight. We're just going to be working on it tonight. But yeah, similarly, just talking the program up, trying to get teachers on board. I haven't done it yet, but I really want to have like an in-person event Like I think that League on TV and on like live is like a really fantastic experience. I think it rivals like sporting events like football. And I would love to have my parents and some of the students that are friends of the team to come in and watch me cast on the auditorium big screen and have the opportunity to buy concessions and kind of celebrate the wins. So that's big next steps for me, is kind of getting this into like a live event space.
Our very first in-person event this past fall, or sorry, past spring, had it at a local esports lounge named Fire Up, who hosts free game time for my team. We invited 2 other local schools that have pretty big, well-established programs. We tried to run an esports pentathlon because we had one
Nice.
school. My school is pretty well-rounded in League of Legends. We're going up against Rockland in Overwatch. They're #1 in the country,
Wow.
and their team is insane. And then the third school, Wood Creek, they had a excellent Super Smash season and an excellent Rocket League season too. So we're trying to figure out what format can we do where these schools with these different strengths and different programs can all compete together and have a good time. So we decided you get 6 players only. That's it, 6 players. Round 1, Overwatch. Round 2, League of Legends plus 10-minute chess. Round 3, Super Smash plus Rocket League. With the most points wins. So we were trying to do that. Sadly, we had too many logins, bad login attempts. And since it was all coming from a single IP address, Blizzard shut us down. So word to the wise, if you're going to host a tournament, make sure you go clear it with Blizzard first so that they whitelist that IP address for invalid login attempts. Anyway.
Wow, that's something to know, right?
Yeah, word to the wise. So next year, we'll try it again.
Okay, that's
It's super
fantastic.
janky trophy too. I went thrift shopping. I was popping tags. I just started to put together all these tchotchkes and glued it. Dremeled a keyboard to fit in the side, spray painted the whole thing gold, and boom, you got an esports trophy. It was very LCS.
All right, and I just want to give a quick update to our viewers. We do have a player who's struggling to get into the match, so that's kind of the reason for the delay. And we'll get that situated as soon as possible, and we'll let you know how that's going to look. But we are going to be getting a match here very soon. Um, but you shared that you run a tournament with your local teams and everything, which is fantastic. How are your local programs, Sacramento versus Virginia? We have West Coast and East Coast. Tell us about that a little bit.
I think West Coast, the Los Angeles, Orange County area is doing amazing. I know that they've got a bunch of in-school programs with elective classes, so they can even take like English and language arts or career technical education for esports. Sacramento is not happening by comparison. So there's a small number of teams up and running, and that's it.
Yeah, it's tough on the East Coast. So we started pre-pandemic, and that fall was the first fall for Virginia. And despite me really pushing for it, I couldn't get the AD on board. They wanted to see how the first season went, and dip a toe in. So we got in the spring, and then the pandemic hit and shut everything down. Right now, there's 4 high schools in Virginia. I'm the only program in Charlottesville. I'm the only program in Charlottesville. We had a season over at one other high school in the fall, but they stopped. Last year we had programs at the city school, but they stopped. So unfortunately, I think it's lack of acceptance among athletic directors and maybe a lack of grunt coaching hours, people being willing to put in the time.
Right.
But I think the space is amazing, and the ability to like tie kids into the school that otherwise don't have good connections. I think it's just a missed opportunity for schools that aren't running esports programs. Here in Virginia, in Charlottesville, we've got a huge Latino population, really large trailer parks, 1,000-unit trailer parks. And those kids love Rocket League, and like some of those kids graduate because they were on the Rocket League team. Like that's like the tie-in. So, I'm hoping that it grows, and I don't know, it's kind of been growing slowly here in Virginia. But hopefully, people see more schools accepting it, more schools kind of help legitimizing it, and we kind of get more pickup as time goes on.
Yeah, and
We started. Go ahead.
I said the same thing when I was trying to get my program started. We've been there 3 years. I had to do a lot of the convincing year one of just like what is the value of esports? What is that going to do? And I'm like, we had this section of students who are not part of our social life, who are not part of our athletics programs or our OTC program or our fine arts programs. They just go home and they play these games, right? So we want to bring them in and we want to bring them into the school community and build that school spirit just like we have everything else. And that ultimately the social emotional learning aspect of it is what really drew people into our program. And with that, I believe we are about to get into picks and bans. Let me swap over there.
All right.
Oh,
I've had a chance to play with Pathfinder. He is coaching us, the Poro Snacks. He's been awesome so far. And
nice.
I'm loving the idea that maybe he's going to just completely tank that top lane. He's going to be the bastion, the rock against which all waves break and crash.
That is the top lane alone for the whole
Yep.
match, making it count. So I would love to see the Ornn. If that comes out, Ornn's one of my favorite champs. Just deals unusual amounts of damage for a tank, like you don't expect it. The max HP damage, and proccing of the brittle stacks. He's definitely one of my favorite champs. And a really good Ornn really shines through, like smoothly landing your Q, landing the E knock up into your W, getting that brittle proc, and then backing out, or going for some all in involving your ultimate. He's definitely one of my favorite champs. I'll be excited to see if he gets it. Of course, there definitely are some targeted bans that are going to be coming out, but we'll see if that's one of them.
And haven't been able to play a couple games with him. He just sat there in the front line and just took damage and took damage and took damage, and his health bar barely moved. So it is going to be up to Kartike pull some Atlassian shrugs here and send some tidal waves flow in the other direction.
Right. I wonder if he'll get the Lucian. Is he going? He's a bot main. Oh, right. Kartike is going top, so they're going to match the tops. He's going to be kind of off rolled. I wonder if he'll run the Vayne. Classic anti-tank
awesome.
ADC in the top lane. That's typically something that you see. It'll be interesting to see whether that comes out topside. He doesn't have a lot of traditional tops in his pool.
What about do ADCs naturally take to Teemo at all?
Teemo is just such a hated champ. I
love Teemo. The first season I ever played, I had this student who just played Teemo. It's one trick. He would just sit there in the corner giggling.
That's the stereotype.
And the whole computer lab would go quiet because that somebody's going to walk over something or something bad's going to happen. You just start giggling and everybody would freeze. And Sweeper would come out. He could almost giggle us into tilting. It was awesome.
He is an interesting champ and he does a lot, but you don't see him a lot in competitive play. I'm not entirely sure why. I feel like for someone who, against like a Jax or someone who needs to auto attack a lot where the blind is really effective, he should have a place. But I feel like in the top lane, these guys every day, everyone gap closes. Everybody catches you. Everybody's fast, and I think it's just hard for a squishy top laner. At least Jace can knock you away. He's got an easier time getting away than a Teemo does. Quinn.
I don't know. I think he's underplayed just because people will flame a Teemo. Reported he gets your account banned. That's the only reason. Oh. Okay.
All right. Let's see what we've got. So we have 4 bans on the part of Bards of a Feather. We've got Mordekaiser Set and Yuumi really targeting that top side. And then on the flip side, Kennen, Xayah, Lucian. So that Lucian for Kartike not coming out on the top side, also hitting Fixing Mantella, the bot laner's main champ, 203 games on Xayah, not going to get his one trick. In terms of the draft, what do you like first? Do you like the Kai'Sa Xerath or the Jhin Rocket? Oh, Xerath is Zilean.
Okay. That's going to be a lot of speed there. I don't know. I think the genius of this was banning Yuumi top. because that was going to be Pathfinder's secret strategy. I wasn't going to out him on the stream. But Yumi top is so oppressive now that they've, patched 12.10.
That durability buff really makes a big difference.
Yeah, really. It's hard to take that cat out. I
I
think
like-
there's going to be a lot of speed and engage from bot lane, and Jin's fairly stationary. It'd be interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. Jin's fast. Jin Soraka, I think, is legit because Jin can land a W and get the snare. Soraka can snare over top if she's fast enough, and it's like pinning somebody in place long enough to get a force shot in. Fizz, I like the Fizz pick. That's Bullet Games. 61 games on Fizz. He's a very, very strong Fizz player. It is not the easiest Fizz game. Fizz loves an immobile ADC that you can pin down, but Kai'Sa can move, and Zilean is going to make the support much, much less one-shottable. So I don't know that he's excited necessarily about what he's seeing so far in picks and bans, but I can understand him playing. Oh, not Victor. Oh, I don't know. Victor's got a big old bullseye on his back.
This is the immobile champ we were just talking about.
Absolutely. Into Fizz.
What's the scaling on Victor, though, compared to the Fizz?
So that's a skilled matchup. Maybe slightly favoring the Fizz. I'm a Victor. Victor's probably my second or third. If you can land the E's and you can space the Fizz dash, then you're okay. But if you get in that dash range and he's able to dash second auto reset on the W and then E away and you don't get any return damage on, if you laser while he's in the air, or you can't quite click the Q because he's moving so fast, it can definitely be a really, really tough matchup. Interestingly, we've got an Ivern, so just insane amounts of healing on Eclipse in the jungle. Between Soraka and Ivern, we're going to need to see Heal Cut built very early. Zilean does not build it well. Victor doesn't want to build it, but he can. So I'm not exactly sure where it's going to come from. Maybe it needs to come from the Kai'Sa. And then Yone up at the top lane, right? That's got to be Yone top?
Yeah, I think so.
So eschewing the Garen and the Ornn in favor of a carry champ on the top lane, really looking to hurt that Gnar. I like Gnar. Gnar, very safe pick, provides front line. You have to play it well, manage your rage well, and your team has to play around the rage well. It is not something that I think just falls together, but if you play together and you play around the Gnar, you kind of get used to, okay, my bar's full, it's time to go, and then you zoom on in.
Seems like the level of 1v1 dueling potential versus team fight potential is kind of lopsided across the different lanes, although both teams have done both.
If I had to pick no player just on draft, I like Bards of a Feather a whole lot more. I feel like Trundle, Gnar, Vic, Kai'Sa is like a really solid package that's going to be able to fight well, take space, move in, move out, and Zilean is going to do weird things, but good weird things. And then on the other side, we've got Soraka Fizz, doesn't go well particularly together. I guess the package is Jin, Soraka, Ivern, and Yone fighting as a clump with Fizz flanking. Maybe it can work.
Both of them flanking. It's possible we could see Fizz and Yone off in side lanes and
yeah,
Jin
but
and
then
Soraka
the
just catching
three
waves.
can't hold. Jin, Soraka, Ivern will just get run over.
Okay.
It depends. We'll have to see. But it's gonna be. But I think Bards of a Feather have an easier comp to execute on. Hope.
Oh, hey, please vote in the poll. Who won draft?
We got a poll. I want to vote. Who wins draft? There it is. You guys think Team Eclipse won? Although it's close. Right. That one's
Let's
tough. That
go.
one's tough. Yep. I think
It's evening up, though.
I will say one thing. Soraka very much changes the game. She and Zilean are actually both like game warping support champions, in the sense that if Soraka lives, you almost always win the fight, and if Soraka dies, you almost always lose the fight. Now, Bards of a Feather don't have a super obvious way to immediately get on and kill the Soraka, so in an extended fight where they're diving on Ivern, Jhin, Yone, and Soraka's positioned far enough back and just healing and silencing and clearing grievous wounds. Like, that is a fight that I think Team Eclipse can win handedly. So it's going to take some focus for Trundle to either pillar the Soraka, or for Gnar to get an ult off, or to slam her back into the team, or for potentially Victor to one shot if he kind of accelerates beyond the normal pace of the game. But if you had to pick out like key champs on both sides, I think Soraka, Fizz on Team Eclipse are going to be win or lose style champs, and Bards of a Feather have a solid 5-team comp. They all can contribute. Any one of them can kind of pop off, but Soraka and Fizz really need to have, I think, big games.
I could also see it. Thank you. I could also see a game where if the Kai'Sa gets ahead, I've seen a Kai'Sa just go roam and pick some people out by surprise. She's fast and mobile. Got a lot of damage.
A lot of damage for sure. I'm excited to get into the game. What about invades? You think any invades are likely?
I think Bards of a Feather, maybe a smidge stronger at level 1, but it's hard to tell.
Yeah, no obvious lockdown or CC. You've got Gnar slows, but it looks most likely like a 5-point on both sides. Do you love having... So we're... All right. Do you like playing with an Ivern on your team? You're a mid laner, Slipstream.
I don't think I've ever played an Ivern or with an Ivern before.
Oh my god, it's the best.
I know I had a team once play Rengar Ivern bot.
I had an Ivern in my game last night, and it is the best thing ever to roam over and pick up blue buff, and then to roam over and pick up red buff. You just feel so good when you've got an Ivern in the jungle. I don't know that Fizz will necessarily take significant advantage of it. I mean, I think if Fizz or Yone pick up the red buff that remains after Ivern clears, that would give them an edge. But it is a glorious feeling having infinite mana because you got an Ivern on your side.
Ivern's basically like the starving Senna of the jungle, or how does that work?
So he is a support champ. He'll build Moonstone most likely. And when he clears blue and red buff, he actually leaves the buff behind for another teammate to pick up.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
He gets it and you get it. And it's amazing. Bar none.
It's awesome.
In a team fight, he's got Daisy, who has like a 3 attack passive, and if he attacks the same target 3 times, there's like a Braum style ultimate pillar knockup thing. But mostly he's CC, he's brushes, and healing.
Okay.
I don't actually know where his healing is, but I know he's got a lot of it, healing and shielding.
Awesome.
So with an Ivern, yeah, the Yone and the Ivern will work great together. But you'd really want, like, I don't know. I guess Jhin would be okay, but you really want Jhin doesn't take damage. Jhin
should be pretty far back.
Right. But if you have Ivern, you can actually take a short range ADC that likes to mix it up because you're stronger with 2 healing supports. So you could keep like a Vayne alive, or a Lucian who like really has to like dive close in to get maximum effectiveness, or Jinx. Jhin, I don't know what will 100% get the same kind of value out of having an Ivern in the jungle. Let's see, they're on red side. Yeah, so Jhin can't pick up red buff. I guess when you're on blue side, the bot lane is close to red buff, and there would be an opportunity for your ADC to pick up red, which would be really OP. Ivern also has really nutty clears. So he can clear in 1 second. Normally, have you seen how he preps camps?
Not at all. Like I said, I've only seen him play support for a Rengar ADC.
So he goes into the jungle, and you click on a camp, and then this little like circle goes around the camp, and when it's full, you come back, you click on it, and you clear it. Because he's like friends with the jungle. He doesn't fight the jungle. He like persuades him to come to his side. But you can also click on a camp and then smite, and it's done.
Oh.
So Ivern can do very strange things, like he can start his red buff and go to enemy blue buff and just smite it away, and it's gone. And there's nothing you can do.
I kind of wonder if that'll happen here, and just trying to get a strong top side going.
It could.
I can imagine a
mean,
world where, you know, they try to get Yone an early buff or something like
right?
that.
If you start in the enemy jungle, it's the most ridiculous steal. And my brother's a jungle main. He hates going up against Ivern because there's not a lot of counterplay to him stealing your camps. Like he just does it too fast and runs away, and there's just not much to do. He's not going to be high damage. He's definitely utility. It's definitely all on the Fizz, Yone, and Jhin in terms of the damage for that comp, but he has good clears, and donating buffs to the mid laner is really great when you're the mid laner.
Or even invade possibly.
Trundle's and he has incredible ganks against the mobile champions. So like I love Trundle against a Victor, against a Malzahar, against Orianna. It's
Not the
not
Fizz or
great.
the Yone.
It's not great into the Fizz. It could probably work against the Yone. And it'll definitely work against Soraka. So I assume I assume Trundle will start on the top side. Clear his blue and make his way bot side. But he's an incredible duelist because every Q, he bites away your attack damage and steals it for himself for a short period of time. So in like an extended fight, jungler versus jungler, he just annihilates you. And then once you get 6, he even steals your stats while he annihilates you. The problem with him is that he's immobile, doesn't have any gap closers. He's fast, and he's got the pillar, which if correctly placed, basically burns flash 100% of the time from an immobile player. But he'll need to get in. He'll be trying to get in the whole game, get in against the Yone, get in against the Jhin and Soraka.
Maybe he just camps bot lane.
Could be.
Maybe they both path to strong side, and that's it.
All right, here we go, guys. I think we're finally getting in the game. Thank you so much for bearing with us. Took a couple minutes to get everybody in, but we are ready to roll.
I love that first person view coming out. Shout out to our broadcast engineering team.
I have never done the first person view. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Oh, they're counter stacking. Counter stacking. I mean, I think counter stacking is really good if you're against the hook champ, but I think it doesn't appear like there's an obvious invade coming from red at this time. Look at the Ivern, pretty aggressively positioned in the river.
yeah.
From that, you could easily like sneak forward to get a ward on blue, or you could get a deep ward on the brush and kind of spot jungle pass. You could even invade. So this is like the perfect opportunity for Ivern to go level 1. The opposing team did not 5-point. If they don't 5-point, they don't know where you are. You can go smite away that blue and then go to your red.
That would be an amazing start to this game.
It would be a really amazing start. Looks like he's going back to his red, but ideally you'd take 2 or 3 champs and you'd go scout out the top side. You almost never see 5-man stacks on the top side on blue. And that way you get enough information to figure out what you wanted to do. The other thing is, Ivern doesn't need leashes, so he can start kind of anywhere. And it
It's
looks
interesting to see the fake leash from bot lane there, getting a little
Yeah.
late to lane when they don't need to do that.
I just love the push advantage. Do you coach your bot lane to get the push advantage early?
Yes, I do. We go for that fast level 2 if we can.
Every time. So, it's an even match now, but it didn't have to be. They could have gotten to level 2 if they wanted it.
It's not even in top lane though. Look at that there.
Oh, Yone's going to be...
About 1 minion
Yone's
left
looking
there.
for
They take
2.
that early advantage. Yep. Oh, it's clearing up. Okay. Still a big caster when you leave though.
Yep. I think the Yone playing aggressively makes a lot of sense. It's up to the Gnar to kind of punish. You've got the range. You got to poke when he goes for CS. Hopefully. Vic did a fast push on the Fizz. Got him under tower.
That is
Hopefully
a
able to land
second
some
wave
burst.
crash, right? Maybe
Yeah,
even a
it's
little early.
2, not 3, but the 3-wave push is hard to... The 3-wave is hard to crash sometimes. Nice
It's like our
lasers.
league broadcast is a little broken again. Those aren't correct CS numbers, in case you're curious.
Oh, man. We had that bug in the States. Yeah. Let's see
Maybe.
how that goes.
Hey, there we go. Thank you.
Uh-oh,
Right.
here we go. Yone looking at that all in.
Was the 3v3? And not quite enough to finish, but definitely going to force him. Oh, wait. Did he walk back up? Did the
He
bait
was
the
looking
jungle?
to kind of pressure with the Trundle, but the Trundle I think should be able to get this. Should be able to clean this up.
Okay, so they go 1 for 1 now. And damage popping off there too in mid.
It was a strong gank. It's always worth looking at it where the kill goes. So Vic got the kill and Fizz got the assist. A little bit unfortunate because when they get back, Vic's got an item advantage. He's sitting on an extra Sapphire Crystal, although he did not buy any sustain. I do like refillable. I think that's a really valuable item. But he's coming back to a sweet wave, 14 to 10 CS lead. He's going to be doing well. Here we go on the bot side.
Trading quite a bit of health there.
Yeah. It's I think this is probably going to be Jhin Soraka favored. They've got the push, they've got the sustain. Zilean hasn't a sustain, so damage is going to stick. So when you've got a Soraka, Jhin needs to step forward, use his force shot to the face. Anybody's fine. He'll take 200 damage, but he'll deal 120, but then he'll get to heal his up, and the 120 will stick. Ooh, nice snare by the Soraka. Can't quite land any damage on top of it, though.
Looks
but
like
yeah.
the Trundle is still hovering top too. He's already showed there twice now.
Oh, here we go.
They're
Nice
putting a lot of
flank.
pressure on that.
They do have all the summoners from the Yone. Great pillar. Oh, get back to the... Man, this auto
That trade's going off in bot lane too. Fairly aggressive. Nice flash forward for the kill.
Oh, he's really low, though. Burns his heal to try and finish. Looks like Kai'Sa stays safe under the tower. Yeah, a lot of pressure by the Trundle top side to try and get the Yone behind. He's down 10 CS at the moment, but he also bought a Cull, so he's kind of going a little bit for a scaling build. In the meantime, Ivern's picked up a bunch of extra CS and is making his way topside. I don't know. Does he intend to dive here? What do you think, Alex?
I don't think he should. I think that they're still at full health or close to it. That's a risky move. I think maybe he's just
Yeah.
covering because there was repeat pressure from the Trundle up there.
Right, I
Let's
think
see
he's
if
just
that
making
continues or not.
sure that Yone can get the wave in safely. Man, this Victor is putting a lot of pressure on the Fizz. Those CS numbers, that gap's getting wider and wider.
Yes, it is.
Looking at 36 to 11 right now. Fizz is definitely really uncomfortable trying to pick up what he can. But he does have the corrupting pods. That's the right start. I just think that he should be trading onto that Vic every chance he gets.
I think so too. I think he's got to let go of some of that CS and then just go ahead and land a combo
Right.
back
right,
to the
right.
tower. Otherwise, he's just going to keep getting poked.
Small lead for Jhin in the bot lane, 15 CS, but only boots on the body, so still relatively even. Both ADCs sitting on Noon Quiver. And Yone, is trading really, really hard, but he hasn't got the lead. He got the one kill, but kind of still sitting relatively even on CS. I think Cardique has done a really great job of minimizing the lane against the highest solo queue rank player on the opposing team. Yeah, really good stuff so far. Hopefully Trundle can get back to farming. He's definitely down a little bit, and they're going to need him to be strong. But, oh, look at the Ivern. Oh my gosh, the deep invade. Come on, camera. And that's it. Smites it
Oh,
away.
there
What are you going to
goes.
do? What are you going to do
He
against
needs
that?
the flash, right? But got the steal in the process.
Yeah, the flash, not ideal, but that's,
Just
he's
play-
playing a
yeah.
gamble. And the gamble is 75% of the time Trundle's not here and I get it clean. 25% of the time I have to burn my flash, but he's still, what is he now? Level 5 to Trundle's level 4. He took bot side camp. Now he's just going to go top side and he's going to take top side camp when Trundle shows on this gank. I'm a little nervous here.
Like
Nah,
that should be okay.
yeah, they're just too
One thing
deep
I
in
do
lane.
love is with these high elo matches, sometimes everybody's hesitant to fight.
Mhm.
But I don't know if you saw one of the preseason geek matches a couple weeks back with the tier 1 crowd.
Mhm.
Had a bazillion and a half kills just 10 minutes in. Looks like we're headed that way already. All right, ulti comes out on the Fizz, does land. It's a little tunk
Unable
out
to
of
get the
thunder there.
follow up.
That's okay. That was
In the
just chunky.
meantime, Ivern went and stole his blue.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's the thing. Trundle shows on bot side. He's like, I worry. He's getting behind. He's at the same. He's a level down on the ADC. Jin's sitting at 6. Trundle's still at 5. So I like the early game. I like pushing the pace top side. You got your top laner an advantage. He's now able to hold his own. You got to take care of yourself now. You got to farm. Get those raids. Get those raptors and wolves and Gromp. You cannot continuously gank as a jungler. It looks like they're gonna try and take Drake. Rotations look pretty clean. I would be surprised if red side was able to contest here.
Yeah, I don't think anything's gonna happen.
They're moving a little bit.
Oh,
Jin
taking
opens
a
up,
couple pot
curtain
shots.
call. Fizz,
And that was potentially a dangerous engage there, but Fizz got the mobility to get back out.
yeah, I mean, it was a lot of ults burned. Ivern's ult sticks around for a little while, but Jin burned his ult, and you know, all they got was a Trundle pillar for their troubles, unfortunately.
There's that nice crashing wave top. Rebalance some of the experience in CS there. Same thing for mid, although again, farming under tower against the Victor.
Victor's got
Almost as
first
bad as-
upgrade.
Yeah.
First upgrade and lost chapter. So Victor is sitting pretty. He knows that he can put the pressure on. It looks like Ivern is going for Scuttle? I don't actually know how he takes Scuttle. I guess he has to fight Scuttle. He doesn't have to fight these
the
small
normal
camps. But Dragon and Scuttle, he's got to fight. But it looks like they're going to pick this up.
First Dragon did go over to blue team, by the way.
Yep. Man, it's definitely a slow-paced game. 10 minutes in, 5 kills, 1k gold lead for red side, just on the dint of good farming and
Didn't
pressure.
start that way, but it has stabilized so much now.
Yeah, I think
Everybody's
Vic is the
much
strong
closer to
side
full
for.
health.
Vic is definitely the strongest point for blue side. Oh, look at this gang. Vic just making the roam. They should be able to pick something up here, even if
There's no way to escape that.
Zill goes down. I think they get. Maybe they get both. Oh, Jin stepping up. Survives 250. Here's the counterplay.
That goes pretty well.
Yeah, Yone Ivern looking for the gank onto the Trundle, and they're going for the Gnar. He is mega, so he's going to be pretty tanky. Gets a little wall up. Kartikeya walks away safe and sound. After that trade of a jungler for support, Goldley's still 1k to red side. I'd be interested to see where they use Herald. I mean, obviously you want to use Herald before 14 minutes. They've got 3 minutes left to use it. Probably a little less time than that in actuality. But they want to get plates. You got to get plates. If you were Ivern, where would you look to drop plates?
Anywhere but mid. No way Fizz is going to push that wave.
It would be difficult. I think you got to drop it top. This
Yeah, I think
Yone,
so.
this Yone's strong. He's bought Cull. He's looking to scale. He's got a kill. You just had a successful gank. I think you got to give him there. Oh, here we go. Soraka face checking to Victor.
Okay, though, that went well.
Oh yeah, it could have cost her life. W behind her, make her walk around, ult right away. You really got away with one right there. Look at the
I
CS
think
lane.
getting that donate to that 3-item power spike. Definitely a good plan. I agree with you completely now thinking about it.
Yeah. So let's see. Ivern is sitting in base, working on his moonstone. But look at this Yone, looking to heavy trade into the Gnar every chance. Here we go, mid side.
Oh, 2v2. Doesn't look like it's going well. Fizz ulti misses.
Nice play by Victor Trundle. Now that's what you want to do. I think you want to just keep saying, here we go, top side. Gnar all in on the Yone and takes him down while in mega form. Do not underestimate Gnar in mega form. He can definitely do a lot of work. Fantastic play by Kartikeya on the top side.
Was a substantial amount of CC there, too.
Yeah, just pins him down. Yone is squishy. Generally speaking, a tank will outscale. Uh-oh, here we go. Deep flank. We've got blue side out of position. Here we go with the ult. Instead of going in for damage, they're just ulting from a distance. I do not think Ivern can make this happen on his own. Come on, you gotta catch up, gotta give him a hand. Here we go, Trundle coming from the flank and Fizz. This is gonna be a giant brawl. Who's gonna win this one out?
And the numbers are there. The damage is there. And red team is pushing forward.
Yeah, it looks like red team was able to pick that one up. I almost wish Jin had saved curtain call to kind of last hit champions, so to speak. Ivern really had to do the whole thing by himself, but sitting at level 7, got level leads on most. He was able to make it work. Victor, in the meantime, still collecting that farm, still sitting pretty on the mid lane. He's pushed. I don't think he took any additional plates. Really, I don't think he should be scared of this Fizz at all. I don't think the Fizz can all in him.
Almost 40 CS up at this point. That's a huge lead.
Yeah, he's got Ludens finished. He's big. All right, we don't have Dragon. Do we have Dragon timers up on the HUD?
Well, it's we've already got it.
It's up.
It's up. And looks like we got a good amount of vision by red team coming in from that stronger bot side. Of course, mid lane is going to be dominated by the blue side. You
We
can
had
see
a
the
Herald
wards
drop.
kind of corresponding to that.
Herald
and
the
that just
bot
gives them
side.
that extra pressure.
Yeah, takes that first turret. We did not see it dropped top side. Maybe after the solo kill, they felt not dropping it on the Yone. Here we go. Oh, that's Soraka, pillared, but able to sneak through the gap. Oh man, 1 millimeter over, and that Soraka was never gonna get through. Well tried, well tried. Looks like Vic is here, just looking to see if he can make something happen. And man, is this Gnar doing a lot of work on the top side.
We have a TP up for Gnar, but no matching TP for the Yone. So
Yeah.
if they go even in lane and there's a dragon fight, that is an advantage to blue team here.
Just an incredibly close game. Really well played, I think, by both teams. I'm certainly enjoying getting to cast this. Gnar goes all in once he hits Mega. Meanwhile, blue side working on Dragon. Red does not want to give it up. They are moving in 4-man versus 4-man. Fizz ult misses. Meanwhile, we got a double bomb on the bot side. It looks like they're able to force the team out. Jin still fighting on the bot side. Fizz and Ivern. Dragon is ignored. Blue team able to pick it up, but there might be something they can get on the bot side. Pushing it on this bot side. Jin pushing forward. Ivern kind of playing support. Oh my gosh.
It's interesting how the ADC stepped in front of the support with no health left with a deliberate use of that Zillion ultimate there.
Yeah.
Try to refresh the
Victor-
health bar basically.
What a fight. Victor coming in late, able to clean up a kill, but then chases the Ivern instead of team fighting. Unable to get more. That ends up being 3 for 2? 3 for 1? 3 for 2? Favoring 3 for 0, favoring red side. Oh my gosh, they didn't get anybody? Amazing fight there, taken by red side. It's just such a really extended fight. You know, I really like the new patch, durability patch. You just didn't get fights like that. They used to be over so quick, but now, you know, ADCs just surviving a little longer, and Soraka still squishy, but maybe not quite so squishy.
It's kind of sad. All the assassins are crying.
I'm okay with it. I was
and
never an
those-
assassin player.
Those multiple deaths, though, do get them the second Drake, so that could be a factor later in the game, assuming they recover from this time off the Rift.
You know, it's my personal philosophy as a player and a coach that dragons are dramatically overrated. Like, the second Drake...
They are
at
until they aren't, but
Yeah.
I totally agree with you.
I mean, looking at the game state and the way the fights happened and the fact that it was a 3 for 0, it's hard to believe, unless something different happens in the game, that they're going to be able to stack 4. This delays the soul for red side, but again, it's not clear that that's going to be in play either. If I am red side, I don't care about dragons as a win condition. I'm looking to try and push turrets. Second Herald would be huge. If they can pick Herald up, I think that'd be really big. And in the meantime, Fizz, Yone, Ivern, all going for a giant flank on the Gnar, who's trying to stay for that turret.
It just came out of Mega Gnar form.
Flashes out.
That is a done deal. Yep.
It is too much, and Yone is going to continue. He will be forced to snap back. In the meantime, we've got Vic going on the Ivern, but again, Ivern is not squishy. He's not the easiest person to kill. He's got a lot of HP from Moonstone. We got Zillion here just looking to poke. Trundle dangerously trying to push the wave out instead of letting it crash. Gets chunked to about 400. Alright, 4v4 here because Jin has stayed on the bot side. Let's see if blue side can get anything done here. Yone
They're
pushing
gonna
in.
collapse and run that fast. Look at them go.
Looks like they have caught out the
Second mid
Kai'Sa.
caught one. They need to do this quickly though before they get counter collapsed on.
It's actually a really good fight. Vic kiting it out. They are not focusing the Victor, who's the most fed player on the team.
Everybody's low on damage. Low on health.
Vic is going to be able to clean this up, I think. Oh no, he lets him blast code over.
Ah.
Man,
It's
that
one
Trundle
more
really
kill.
lived on the
Oh, I
front.
love that tunnel vision though. That was awesome. That totally did me too. Chase the one champion low on health. Don't worry about everybody behind you.
Yeah, I don't know how Trundle rejoined. Maybe he never got low, or maybe he life still back up off Gromp or something and smited, but man, he really turned that fight around in the late game. Ended up going at least 3 for 1. Maybe that was 4 for 1. But a huge swing. We're now looking at 29,800, 29,600. Anybody's game. Who knows? Maybe you're right. Maybe Alex, those Drakes are going to come back into play. What a fantastic, long, slow fight where nobody pays any attention to the Victor.
Here's solo for a couple minutes. I'll be back soon.
Sounds all right. It looks like Victor is buying my least favorite item. He is buying the thing that gives extra pen against shields. I think that was an okay item before the durability patch, but in an environment where everybody has a little bit more than the minimum MR, I think that item really is not as strong. I think that you can go second item Death Cap, you can go second item Void Staff. There's lots of different options, but sometimes I feel like the damage on this patch is lacking from that. Yone trying to get away from a bot side gank. We've got a very fast Gnar. Can he land a slow? I think if he runs, he's going to cut him off. Zilean speeding him up. All right, you got to fight, Yone. Come on. What can we do? Nice movement. Oh my gosh, incredible movement. The Yone gets away. The Yone gets away. An unbelievable escape. There was no way the Yone should have survived there. You've got a Zilean and a Gnar. But man, he really worked that alcove. In the meantime, we have the Gnar almost in mega form. Once he megas, he can make something happen. Looks like the team just disengages. Nicely done by red side. We've got Drake, third Drake. Red side does not want to give up third Drake. Soraka already low. Makes it a little bit more troublesome. But oh, Soraka just face checks to her doom. Tries to steal it with a Q. A tall order, to be sure. I don't hate the attempt. If you can steal that, it really slows down the dragon stacking for blue side, and that's definitely one of their win conditions.
All right, and I'm gonna join you on the stream here as well, since our co-caster had to go do some adult things. We'll go ahead and yeah, some adult things. That sounds worse than it is. It's hard to jump into the middle of a cast, but definitely
all good. All
this
good.
is
It's been a fantastic
super close.
game.
But 3
Yes.
dragons, and I wanted to take a look at the gold stats on the players real quick because Decisions is a giant, but Sones on the other side on that Victor is also a giant. So it's like mid lane versus ADC. Who's gonna win out?
Typically, I think Victor does pretty well into that Jhin. I think that Fizz has to sit in side lane. That Fizz just has to clear wave, sit in side lane, pull one apart, because whoever you pull is going to be wishing they were fighting with the team. If you can pull the Victor off to the side lane, that's a huge win for your squad. The 5-man fight is a whole lot better without him.
I think the
Which is
Gnar knows that he can kind of like move up, and they have 2 teleports on their team. So Victor and Gnar can,
True.
both stop those, and 2 teleports against 0 when you're winning a lot of these team fights. Like it's starting to look really good into this late game.
I agree. I mean, I feel like Gnar has outscaled the Yone. Yone can no longer push with impunity. They both have Mythic, but Gnar's sitting on a whole lot of armor that he hasn't finished yet, but he will. So I don't know where they're going to be able to kind of manage the split. Oh, we got a deep TP coming out from Victor behind the Yone. He's made magical escapes before. Can he find it this time?
Well, he's looking. Pathfinder is doing the great escape.
I don't think so. Zilean can speed you. Kai'Sa ults right in.
Not enough damage, even with
Soraka-
the ult.
Soraka pops Shurelius to get the Yone out. I almost thought the Yone was going to turn. All the Yones I play with will just go all in there. Alright, we get out the Trundle ult. A lot of cooldowns move. Soraka sitting on the front line gets annihilated by the Victor. Such a hard champ to play. when you're up front. Here we go. Massive team fight. Trundle whacking away at the top side. Victor ends up being able to flank, puts a great W down in the choke. No one's going to be able to move through there. Looks like he's trying to leave cleanup for the Trundle. Will the Trundle be able to chase down this Ivern? Let's see. Pillar behind the wall. Not up, not up, not up. Ivern slinks away. Able to fight another day.
And you
Meanwhile, we
guys
got Gnar.
mentioned earlier in the draft phase how Ched is going to have the Zillion and how that is going to be a really pivotal ultimate. And you've seen every ultimate that Ched has been putting out has been so important in what they're going to be doing, what they're going to be sharing in this in these team fights. And every single ult he's been making has been game changing. So Ched is definitely making a lot of these team fights happen for Bards of a Feather.
Absolutely. Sitting at 326, very, very few deaths, keeping his teammates alive. And it's going to be so depressing to try and get through that Victor twice. Who's the most fed team on blue team? We've got Baron up, 24-minute game time. We've got Dragon in 123, and that will be Soul. So it's a must fight. At this point, everybody's just collecting as much gold as they can until they throw down in what could be kind of the definitive fight, nail in the coffin potentially. We got a 3k gold lead for blue side. How do you think they should approach this macro-wise?
Right, they need to stop this Soul Drake. I think they need to grab one Soul Drake, one Drake at least to kind of delay the Elder, because if it gets to 30 minutes, the way Bards of a Feather have a lead, they can definitely clean it out very cleanly and just take that Elder Drake and definitely take the next team fight over and over and over again. So I think they need to start setting up fighting this. You see all the focus here around the Drake. They want to control this area. And I think that's they want to find a catch first.
Oh, I don't hate it. Here we go. We've got some snares coming in. This is the Gnar and Mega, though. They're going to burn a lot of cooldowns, and I'm not 100% sure they're going to get him. Oh my gosh, protected by the Zillion. Didn't even have to burn ult.
And that's super unfortunate because he has teleport to come back, and there's only 10 seconds. They can get into this. There is a ward here in the back of the Dragon Pit that they don't know about. They haven't cleared it out. So they could be running into a mega or a mini Gnar just in the middle of their face as they start to get that vision now.
Yep. So I think here we go, giant fight. Let's see if they're able to make it work. We got a 3-man gravity field stun by the Victor. But it looks like the fight's going Red's way. Victor dies early. Nice curtain call, and it looks like cleanup on the Gnar should be pretty straightforward.
Yeah, and it's
you know what was
only
different about
40K
this
left.
fight? You know what was different about this fight than every other fight? Is that Red side had position.
Yeah, they forced him to come into them.
Right, it's a million times harder to run in. Last time Soraka tried to run in, and it's impossible to run in on a Drake. You have to set up early, and that time Red side set up early. They sat on their vision, and they waited until blue team came in and took a fight on their terms. And man, despite the gold lead, I'm really surprised that fight went that way. I kind of lost track of where the Victor was and how he ended up dying. But well played, Red side. And as a bonus, you've at least got a shot at Baron here. Victor's mid lane, he could path over, but so far 4K.
Oh no!
It's gonna be close. It's gonna be close. Oh, I think it's a fight. Kaisa can go. Kaisa can go.
Oh, he made it.
1,500, 1,200, 1,000. Smite it.
Got the
Red
smite.
side
Now
gets
the coup
the
gets
Baron.
out.
Run, guys, run.
Oh no! No flashes to get out.
It's tough, but not the end of the world. They still got Baron on too. This is not so much about getting a Baron that's going to push and you're going to get a 5k gold swing off of it. No, this is denying the enemy team, stalling it out, getting some supers mid. I think it was a really, really smart play. They went for it. They got it. It wasn't clean, but they did pick up the Victor, who's got a ton of gold on the other side, and hopefully they won't drop an inhib here. What do you think?
I think the inhib is definitely going to go down. Bullet gains of Cassidy probably aren't going to be enough. And the DPS that they have here between Kaisa, Gnar, and the Troll Town man as they take the inhibitor. But yeah, I thought for sure the timers weren't looking so hot, but as you said, the Baron is going to be able to halt the super minions coming in. They delayed the Elder Dragon by 8 minutes at least. So it's going to be, looking up, set up the vision, force them to come into us. That's the way they got to win it out. Make sure we keep track of the victor.
Oh, here we go. Yone's on the hold. They curtain call just to get the slows off. Trundle's tanky, though. He's sitting on Thornmail, Frozen Heart. I'm not sure who's going to kill that guy. It would have to be something like a Fizz with a Nashers or something for, like, sustained magic damage. But they don't have a lot of sustained magic damage because Fizz didn't really get rolling. I guess he has Lich Bane.
He's got
Lich Bane
3
does.
items. He just went back to finish up that Lich Bane. I was just about to say that. He's 2-2 and 8, so he's not completely out of it. He is 50 CS behind as that's happened, but that actually hasn't been growing since the early game. Like that early game, that CS difference happened in the first 15 minutes of the game, and he's been staying pretty steady since.
Yeah, I mean, the Fizz is not weak at all. Fizz is strong with those items. He can definitely one-shot a Victor or a Kai'Sa or a Zilean. He just needs to kind of dance around, find flanks, find angles, and land his Shark. But
And
Zilean,
that level
I mean,
14, he can do a ton of damage. He's got the Ignite. It's going to be up to Ched on that Zilean. Who is he going to ult? Is he going to be quick enough with his fingers to actually make that change to keep whoever the Fizz goes on alive?
I think it's going to be him.
It's gonna be the Zilean who goes down.
If you're Fizz, man, targeting Zilean is as good as targeting anyone. Burning that key ult, critical in a fight.
Yeah, and you're using it on yourself, which isn't like support Zilean's not the key team member, and if you're using your ult on yourself, that's not really going to be a huge amount that you're saving on your team. You want to be able to say that for the Kai'Sa, for the Victor, and then take that and allow them to suck up a ton of damage. Even any of your other teammates are going to be great, Gnar, as the fight happens here.
Oh my gosh, giant face check by the Trundle into the Yone and the Ivern. He ends up getting the ult, which is great, but they immediately turn on to the Zilean. He is able to keep the Ivern alive, but that's the thing. Oh my gosh, Victor, huge damage on the backside. Really chunking out the Fizz, able to hop away. But those lasers are really doing a lot of work. Ult burned, but they get the pick. In the meantime, Gnar, splitting topside, has not deviated yet. Oh my gosh, Kai'Sa face checks the Yone. That's tough.
Yeah, that's not a safe space. It's 20 seconds until the drag. You can't be traveling over there alone just to get a ward in, trying to get some vision. But as you said, this Gnar is pushing, trying to get anything back for his team. Like 50k in the bank for both teams. This game is super tight. You don't want to allow them to keep delaying the Elder.
Oh my gosh, here's another face check by the Trundle, feeling like he has to fight for soul. He goes ahead and face checks right into 4. We've got a TP coming in for the Gnar to kind of join the fight. They feel like this is a last-ditch effort, but the gold really doesn't dictate it. I don't know that you can get this deal when the opposing team still has a jungler, but we're going in.
It
and
could be
looks
good.
like the Ivern smites it away, but they're taking the fight afterwards. Jhin not in the fight, doesn't have TP. Ooh, Vic going melee against the Yone. It's a crazy fight. The Fizz is still looking. It's 2v4.
Oh, that damage.
Ult comes out, but there's just CC.
Here he is.
Jhin joins the fight. We get a good we get a good Zilean ult, but he's against too many.
And what you said, the Jhin was in the base the entire time. They went in. It was a clean 4v4, but they just couldn't win the fight with the pick on Fixing Mantella earlier, as Bullet Games is looking for another one. But with that pick on Fixing Mantella earlier, he couldn't join his team, and I think that was the game-changing factor there. And that's what's allowing Team Eclipse to actually get further and deeper into this game, and you can see that they are lasting in these team fights.
For sure. I wish, maybe Trundle had just never gone to that Drake. Like, you've got 4 Dark on the map. Your Trundle's pushing, your Gnar's pushing topside, and he's not matched. That's a great opportunity to ignore second Drake. Who cares about second Drake? I know it's your soul, but this is not the one you get to have. You've got your Gnar sitting topside. Or just wait for Gnar to wait for Jhin to show and for Gnar to come down. I mean, it was definitely like a little bit of an early face check. Hopefully we get a good Baron fight here where both teams have 5 players and no one's kind of out of position early. Because I think we've had a lot of great fights. You don't have to face check, give them an advantage.
Yeah, and you're already on Soul Drake. So, if you lose one here, it's okay.
Oh, we look like we've got a big all-in. Yone with a 3-man ult. Curtain Call opens up on the bot side. I don't know. They didn't follow it up, though. They decided to peel off.
But
just
Ched
a
went down
fantastic
without
ult.
ulting. Dexisions gets that pick. He is a giant right now.
He is 10-4. Got the collector. 4 items. Here we go. You want to take this fight. If you're red team, that you've got man advantage. You've got HP advantage. Victor's really the only big threat, but Jin should have a field day. He can take Poke and it doesn't matter. Gale forces a way to escape. I don't know, maybe the...
That's
oh,
2.
Here we go.
Oh, and that healing on the Soraka is just so much. It doesn't look like any damage came out. It was a 2 or 3-man stun by Kartike on the Gnar. And the follow-up with Sones and with Fixie Mantella, they just couldn't burn anybody out with the Soraka in the back pocket.
Right, and the Victor doesn't have ult from the last fight, and he ends up dying right in front of tower. I will say the wave clear was really good for a minute. I thought they might be able to hold on, but without Vic, I think they might be able to push through. Alternatively, red side could always... Oh! Jin steps up a little too much and gets taken down by the Zilean.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. I was thinking in my head how well they were juggling the turret aggro. You could see how low they were before, Caspi started to heal everybody up. But then the turret swapped and 2 tower shots came out on Dexisions, and he gave a big shutdown going over to Ched Zilean.
Yep. Not the worst player to give it over to. The gold on the Zilean isn't going to be as impactful as, say, the Victor or the Kai'Sa. But certainly not a shutdown you wanted to give.
And I want to point out that Pathfinder's level 17. I don't know where this came from. He didn't have the cleanest early game, but he is definitely really scary looking. Him and Dexisions are very strong right now.
He has been sneaking Gromp from his jungler all game long, stealing that Gromp, the Krug, stealing those Krugs. So I think that helps to a large degree. But he's also like very efficient about his wave clear and pushing side lanes, and you can see him taking Raptors here. Yone's a monster farmer, sitting at 254 CS despite kind of having a difficult early game. Drake is up in 30. Red side needs to set up, but they don't have it. All they got is Soraka. It's not time to farm the camps, guys. You gotta hold that vision line.
I think they actually might want to give it up and make sure that Elder Drake can come out, and then they could just crush the next team fight around Elder.
I think that's a risky strategy, but it could be.
It looks like they're probably going to want to come in. Pathfinder is getting an angle. They see the vision. That was a good way to pop the plant,
I just don't know that Yone wants to be flanking like this, but here we go.
There he goes.
Looks like a split fight with Yone on one side and the 4 on the other. Gnar
The 4
goes
doing
Mega.
work.
They really are. It looks like they are really taking it apart. It's that Soraka on the backside. You can't win a fight if Soraka lives. You just can't. And
Oh
it's
no,
difficult.
that might be the game. They have a wave here that they could catch up with. They do grab the Drake as well. And pings are going everywhere, to mid, to bot, to to Dragon. They are looking to take this entire map as they might look for victory. They did have objective bounties in their favor earlier, but now it's going over to Bards of a Feather.
You think they have time? If I were coaching this or my high school team, I'd tell them to go to Baron right after they get here.
I
No,
think
no,
it's
they
fine
might be able to
take
take
this-
towers down.
Oh, and he's back, and I'm gone.
Yep, I'm back. Thank you. Sorry.
Welcome back.
I think they're
Alex.
going for it. They're gonna
I
do it.
was wrong. They definitely have it. Kai'Sa alone cannot defend this. Good game, ladies and gentlemen. Red side, take it. Scaling comp, good farming, good team execution, and a giant Soraka. Sitting on the backside, healing everybody
you
up.
seem to have called it there in the beginning with that Soraka alive or dead, backline, Jin standing in the background. And the mobility of the Yone and the Fizz was not enough to go pop them first.
Yeah, it was the Yone and the Fizz were on the Soraka side. It was the Gnar
I'm sorry.
trying
The
to make
Gnar,
it
sorry. The less
the
mobile
Gnar and the
champions.
Vic. I mean, I like the Gnar and the Vic, and he built the heel cut. I think they did everything right. It was just a tall order to get through everybody, and Kaisa never really kind of hit peak strength. But it was definitely a fun game to cast. Congratulations, Red Side, really nice game. Sorry, I'm still learning team names, but that was Bards of a Feather, I believe.
Up against Team Eclipse, right?
Yeah, and Team Eclipse, and that was Eclipse, I think, coming out on top. Yes, Eclipse coming out on top.
And up next, we're going to have Let Us Win versus Straight Outta Grompton.
Excellent team names. All right, we'll be right back in just a couple, guys. Stay with us.
we go.
Alrighty,
Hello.
we're. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Take it away,
We're-
Slipstream. Take it away.
All right, so we're back for game 2. It looks like draft is working. Also, I think there is bingo going on. Is that correct?
I have no idea. I'm
Okay.
new to the stream, but I
think
just
there's
got a tier
bingo.
1 subscription. Thank you, Patty. I appreciate it. All right, so we should have draft in just a second. Quick review of players, shall we, Slipstream? It looks like we got a diamond and a master up in this game. Crazy.
Yeah, we've got Clown Viego as a diamond, Drake Prime, Griffith, in-game name, Query, and then that Decker guy. Sorry, Queequereque. Did I say that right? Kitty Key. Oh, there we go. That's a lot easier. Then on our other team, we've got a Smooth Criminal, English Teacher, Happily Zerg, Sups9, and Will Win. I believe Will Win is the master player.
Absolutely, and it looks like Will Win, the master player, and Clown Viego are both going to be going into the jungle, so they will be clashing in the jungle. Clown Viego, can you guess his main?
I'm guessing it is Viego.
If you count
Actually,
408
I take that back.
games this season.
I'm guessing it was Viego, and that it will never again be Viego.
What's his second champ? That's the other question.
That's the real question, right? And there was an Ivern.
Which champ is the clown?
There was a Lilia. There is a Shaco, but if I were the
Shaco.
other team, I just permaban Shaco. So
Shaco's have you ever played Shaco?
I've had an awesome Shaco support on my team once that I was pleasantly surprised by, but in solo queue.
Mm-hmm.
And every other Shaco experience I've had has been awful, whether they're on my team or the other team.
So
But for me, that's a permaban.
It is a very he is a definitely disjoints the game. We'll talk about draft in a second, but did Viego make it? Did Shaco did make it through draft? So it'll be interesting to see if he gets picked. But Shaco is like an impossibly difficult champ. Like even the good players, when they make it work, it's just by like a hair. It's just like they put everything they can into this champ, and it's like just enough. It's no Yone who just like demolishes you and misses half his Qs, and it's terrible. No, Shaco is like a refined player. I love seeing a great Shaco. Does not look like we're going to see a great Shaco in this match. We have the very meta Vigar in the mid lane up against the Nivea. Interesting matchup. I think it favors Vigar for a while. Anivia has a weak pre-6 till she gets her wave clear online, and Vigar really loves a weak pre-6 because he is a super scaler. So having a kind of a free lane, I think will benefit him a lot. Now, some Anivias are really aggressive and crazy and can land the Q wall combos, QWE combos, and but we'll have to see how that goes. In the bot lane, we've got Kate Thresh. What do you think about that bot pairing?
I think that's going to be kind of just an aggressive game. They're also going to have those crazy escapes that a good Thresh player can do. I always like watching a good Thresh play
A good
because they
Thresh
do some
player
cool
is
stuff.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I like it. That's a push heavy lane. Kate's got range on Ashe, going to be able to kind of jam that wave. Going to hit level 2 first. With a champ like Thresh, when I coach, I always have them just flash in level 2. Level 2, flash flay. You wait for your opponent to flash, and then you throw hook, and you hope for the best. But either way, you go flash for flash on whoever you went on. But you can make really crazy aggressive plays when you hit level 2 and the opponent's level 1. Straight out of Grompton, countering with Tom. Tom is in a good spot right now. He is really big and tough. So I like that pick. I don't know if it has
Is
any
that a
particular
set top or a Wukong top?
Probably Wu in the jungle. Set does not jungle
Okay.
as anymore. And Wukong, obviously, huge meta pick, very, very popular at all Elos. Going up against the Hecarim, who had been nerfed. I haven't kept track of him, though, so I'm not sure how strong he is on the current patch. And straight out of Grompton, rounding it out with the top Cassio. Who needs boots, right?
Yeah.
Cassio into
But we'll
Set.
never get them.
I don't know. Set's a monster. I am unsure. I think that's got to be Set favored. Incredible regen on that Set. He starts Thor and shield. He doesn't care about any cast damage. And if he gets in on her, he can, punch her into a
Body slam.
small piece of snake.
Even if he gets poked low, there's that giant shield. So one
Yep.
question is, can Cassiopeia just outclear the wave and play a static lane?
No, she does not have good
Oh,
wave clear.
okay.
She's got none.
Okay.
She's done enough AOE. She can
Okay.
Q, but then she has to E to clear the wave. I think her best bet is to get pushed in and look for ganks. Like a long lane isn't good for an immobile mid laner or an immobile bot laner like Cassiopeia. She wants a short lane like mid, or a safe lane like bot where she's got support. She is used as a top laner, and she does scale incredibly, and there will come a point where she can really chunk out DPS, but it's not the early game. She's going to have to wait to kind of come online.
Speed gradually increases as she levels up too, so
Mhm.
the mobility problem will gradually fade away if she can get up to level 6 or higher fast.
Yeah, I think it's like 8 or 9. I think it's maybe, I don't know what the breakpoints are. But it takes a while for her to get like the equivalent of tier 1 boots. And of course longer for the equivalent of tier 2 boots. What do you think about the Hecarim? Where's he gonna go?
I think I kind of want to see an old school Predator Hecarim and just see him basically everywhere.
Yeah.
And whether the gank lands or not, it's just the threat of the gank almost, because Hecarim inspires terror in the mid lane just because he's always crossing through there, and you never know which side he's on even.
Right. I think
You
for
might have a
Hecarim-
ward. He's going so fast, he'll blow by it before you can even get out of the way. It doesn't matter.
I think his best bet is mid. I think that, if Set's pushed up and the wave's not too big, but Cass doesn't have a lot of gank set up, I don't know how much he's going to be able to get done top. And bot lane, Thresh, Kate, they've got disengage ways, certainly before Hecarim gets his ult. Once he gets his ult, I think he can probably come bot side a little easier. But Veigar, if you take the long loop around, get behind him, and dash at him, that's flash. And if he doesn't flash the knockback, even if he does flash after he's dead, I know I've done it plenty of times. Not flash that knockback, and it's over for you as an immobile mid laner.
Vigar is going to have to hold their cage even and not spend it on the Anivia. You know?
Yeah, he won't. He shouldn't very often. You don't have all-in threat with Veigar till 6+, and you have to get through the egg. You don't have enough sustained DPS to get through the egg. The Anivia is passive without jungle support, so I don't think cage being up is a problem. It's just placement, and it's not always easy, and sometimes it can be run around. On the flip side, Wukong definitely can go bot side. Thresh has a lot of gank setup. He can go mid. It's easy for Veigar to get a cage around an Anivia. If you get a cage around an Anivia, that's all Wukong needs. Wukong doesn't need the stun. He just needs her to be pinned in place for 2 seconds while he wails on her. And he can go top. I think that Set provides good gank setup with the E, which provides a slight pullback stun plus slow. And then, punches you to death. So I think there's a lot of options for Let Us Win. And, we'll have to see how it plays out. But I'm excited to see where the junglers play. Remember, these are diamond level, master level junglers. Really, really strong understanding of macro and late and how the lanes are going to play out. Even better, much better than me. But I'm guessing we're going to see some action on the mid lane for straight out of Grompton. And man, Wukong can go anywhere.
And what are you seeing out of the bans? What does that suggest here for thought process?
It looks
like Viego. Yep.
Yeah, the Viego ban makes sense. 400 games for Clown Viego. Anytime you got the name in a champ in the man's name, you got to ban it. Number one rule of organized league play. Will Win is not a jungle main. He's an ADC main. So it's more difficult
So
to ban
that
him.
Kindred is a nice takeaway then.
Could have been.
That is a very ADC-like jungler.
And Graves. Graves is such a phenomenal ADC-like jungler. Really, really strong in the right hands. And then obviously the engage supports Nautilus and Braum, which would be good against the Thresh band out in the latter half. Sups is on Let Us Win, right? Yeah. So in terms of support picks, they're Drake Prime support for Shada Grompton doesn't have a ton of solo queue games, so it's difficult to know who he would play. I think they're just banning counters rather than champ specific at that point.
It looks like Drake Prime is very versatile. I'm seeing some top lane. I'm seeing some jungle. Some
Yeah,
support. Pretty well mixed up there.
there's definitely a bunch of mix.
Or those are maybe just tanky bot lane picks. I'm not sure. Those.
They would be unconventional, but it's possible that they could be run there. The Vigar is the number 2, mid laner's number 2 behind Ziggs. You know,
Mhm.
he has so much potential. He's so strong right now. So he just got the durability patch, but you know what Vigar was best at? Overkilling someone. When he ulted you from like 300, it was like 700 damage. So like in a durability patch where everybody's a little stronger, Vigar is still like fabulous because he was just overkilling you beforehand, and now you just die instead of getting overkilled. So I think that of all the champs, he's one of the ones that was like changed the least.
And that's just a click ulti and it goes off. You don't have to aim that.
Point
I found
click.
that out the hard way many a time. I'm like, oh, I'm going to dodge it. No, I'm not.
So
There's no getting out of range.
I'm an old man and I have no hands, and I play Malzahar and I play Vigar, play Annie, all point click champs, and it helps keep me in the game. But yeah, I think you know, incredible zone control. Let us like talking about the 5-man comps as a whole. Like if Vigar predators at you and gets a cage around 2 people, your ADC support something, set in Wukong, roll in, ult, knock everybody up. Like that is a very, very potent, very, very clear 5-man team oriented fighting comp. And on the other hand, we've got Straight Outta Compton. They've got some pick potential in the sense that they've got an Ash arrow that they can go in on. But neither of these teams wants to sit in a side lane. They both are like big 5-man fighting teams. The Cassiopeia, the Anivia, big zone control. You know, that Straight Outta Compton team is really AP heavy.
I see some magic resist coming out.
Not just that, but let's say Wukong decides, well, I'm just going to camp Ash because if I camp Ash, I only have to defend against 1 damage type. If there's no big Ash, I don't know how they get through set Wukong. I guess Cassiopeia can. She's got the best sustained AP damage in the game. So maybe it's not that big a deal. Of all the mages, Cassiopeia is the most like an ADC. 1 second cooldown.
As far as globals go, how is Tom Kench's? What's the range on that?
You mean
Can go quite a distance,
jump?
right?
So it's regular
Burrow
abilities. It's on like a 13-second cooldown, but he could just jump all over the place.
And do you see that being used with the Ash, who's otherwise pretty immobile? Do you see that being used to like pull somebody else out of position?
I mean, it's an engage tool. He would have to be pretty strong not to just evaporate in the midst of a team fight, though. So I'm not sure how it's going to be used. In lane, having that as your initiator for a Hecarim gank is really strong. So maybe Hecarim can go bot with a Tom to engage. Maybe I'm missing that. Maybe if he gets in on the Thresh, because obviously if you get in on the Kate, Thresh can lane turn you out. But maybe if Tom goes in on the Thresh, they can get a kill bot side.
I think that they do focus on the Thresh there.
Right.
Caitlyn's got a little bit of self-arrest where she can kick herself back or pop a trap in place. So a little harder to gank than some ADCs in that sense.
Right.
Thresh is the big escape tool and the big CC tool. So yeah, I think they focus Thresh, and Thresh just plays a little tankier.
I could see invades coming out here. Thresh, obviously,
You're
a wonderful
right.
level 1 invader. Ash
And Wukong
also,
fairly good in just a
Yeah.
brawl too, early level 1.
and Set, they're all good champs in the level 1. But on the flip side, Ash is also very, very good level 1 because she can kite and deal sustained damage and keep up a continuous slow. Cassiopeia, not very good. Tom's okay. Hex okay. But, you know, do you ever invade when you're on red side through that bot Tribush?
Yes, we do. I like the late invade to try to steal a blue and force them off.
Yeah.
That's a big fan of that one.
On
towards
blue
their
side
blue.
pushing up.
Yep.
hmm So on red side, when you're on the top side of the map, going to try. Because the most common position for someone to 5-point is in try brush, which is terrible. You should never sit in try brush when you're 5-pointing. You just sit outside so that you can see people approaching from both directions. But if you pop scanner and hug the wall, you can get to like 200 pixels before they see you.
Which
So
is well
someone
within
like
CC range.
right, so like someone like Ash can throw a W over try brush and slow you, and then you either blow flash or you die.
Would Vigar ever start Cage in an invade scenario?
But, I play a lot of Vygar. I hate starting Cage.
I mean, I'm sure that sucks for laning, but if you can score 2 kills, does that make it worth it?
So what is it? It's 9 minions to level 2 mid lane. So
No, 7 mid lane, right?
7, 6
Minion on the second wave,
first minion of the second wave.
I think, for mid lane, solo lane.
So then you're probably missing like 5 AP. Let's say you Q farm 4 or 5 of them. An AP is 22 gold, so you're missing out on 110 gold by taking E over Q.
Okay, so it's a gamble.
It is, but here's the thing. You get a kill, it's worth 5 AP. So if you are confident enough or fast enough on the fingers to go ahead and pop E and Cage over top of other CC, it can be worth it. And obviously burning flashes are incredibly valuable. So, but I still don't do it very often.
Okay. Definitely wouldn't want to do that in solo queue. Sounds like we got a pause game.
Sounds like some technical difficulties, but we will get to the game, ladies and gentlemen, as soon as the game gets unpaused. And we will see how this plays out. Who do you think's going to win? Me and you, Substream.
I kind of like the comp on the left. I think Let Us Win. Just feel like that's a more straightforward, easy to execute composition.
A summoner has reconnected.
Yep. I feel like they've got winning lanes. They've got an organized team comp. Vygar is really strong right now in the meta. I mean, Anuvia's no slouch, though. Yeah, I think I'm inclined to agree. It looks like Lettuce has a bit of a draft edge.
I think it's just going to be more forgiving if they make a mistake. Whereas straight out of Grompton, they need to put down damage and they need to focus fire, and take one player out at a time fast.
I do think that Grompton wins the naming battle, though. Come on.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
That is a fabulous name. I don't know who came up with it, but props to you.
Solid logo, too. All right, and we got the pause going.
Let's talk summoners. Cleanse.
I always like seeing TP. One TP on each team.
Yeah, there's some funny summoners. So, first of all, Caitlyn's got heal, and it is almost mandatory into an Ashe lane for the ADC to take cleanse. You just
To
have
get out
to.
of that hard CC.
You just
makes
have
sense.
to get out of arrow. And Ashe took cleanse. I don't know about that. I guess he's gonna try and cleanse a Vygar cage, but really positioning wise, you should be fine. Maybe cleanse a Thresh hook. I can see it for the Thresh, not so much for the Vygar.
There's a Conqueror Hecarim. Kind of hoping to see Predator. I know that's out of meta now, but
He took Ghost.
okay, and that helps with the speed.
Yeah, Ghost is longer cooldown, but serves the same purpose. But he intends to be brawly, so he wants that lifesteal from it. Electrocute on the Anivia for a little bit of extra damage. I am surprised by the cleanse on the Anivia.
A summoner
I
has
don't
Well,
know.
playing in a Vigar, you're gonna just use that as soon as it comes off cooldown, almost.
No. When you play against Vygar, you just never get caged, and if he gets you in the cage, you just walk around inside.
Just try to avoid that kind of area of effect damage he puts down.
Yeah, gotta have
Is,
fancy feet.
is the Vigar expecting to get chunked out of lane early, or is that TP more for like the rotate to side lanes team fight late game? Do you think?
What else would you take on him?
a summoner has reconnected.
I honestly don't know. I mean, does he
So
ever play Ignite?
Ignite could be okay post 6, but you're not really threatening. And again, you overkill people anyway at 6.
Overkill damage. Yeah, it's pretty
And
fast.
against an Anivia that you got to kill twice, Ignite's particularly bad. You could take heal for a 2v2. But TP is kind of the default. I always run TP.
I ditto. I love it.
It's not great to TP to a side like to a tower dive. Like maybe you can get something, but it's not like TPing with Malzahar where you immediately like CC somebody for the rest of their very short life. Veigar, you actually have to like land things and move around, and but I think for getting back to lane, if you accidentally die in lane, or so that you don't miss any farm, if you have to take a bad reset, or you know you got to kill but you were slow to push the wave, so you had to do you had to take an extra second to enemy was already back in lane. I think TP is more for those. I like the Predator. Predator dramatically changes your ability to play the game. Makes a lot of sense.
30 seconds until
And here we go. Looks like we got a 5-point from our red side, and our blue side
Warded.
looks like warded and is coming back out.
They put a really deep ward bot. I guess they wanted. Oh my gosh! Look at that red side ward in the brush. Do you see it?
I see it. So they see
That
set
is
crossing
meant
over there.
To
Oh,
spot.
that brush.
It's meant to spot the cheese. So my bot lane for Elmore High School, the team I coach, we ran Rel Misfortune, and we sat in that brush all season long and burned Flash level 1 every game. Every game. But that is an incredibly sophisticated ward, because once the minions walk by, generally, if you leash, you're walking in after the minions pass, so there's nothing to block. So if Thresh lands a hook and Kate's really good with traps, you can get like 70% off of a single champ in the bot lane, walk away, and then zone off XP. It can be kind of a game over level 1 scenario. Ooh, really nice E by the Anivia. Good stun on the Veigar. So yeah, that's a great ward. I'm impressed. That is not something that very many teams do at any Elo.
Oh. Didn't even thought of that. I've seen people 5-stack and run at each other in those bushes down there once or twice at
Yeah,
a high level. But that's pretty rare.
yeah, it's interesting. All right, we got tier on Cassiopeia, which is fine. It looks like she's contesting the wave on the top side. Bot lane, itemization, I think it's all pretty standard. Man, that Anivia is doing some real work into the Veigar.
Half health already.
Yeah, she's got electrocute, so she's fighting. Veigar will never be able to out-trade, but he doesn't want to out-trade. He doesn't even want to push. Like, it looks like he's pushing onto her side a little bit.
Right.
Looks
Which is kind of
like
what the Hecarim wants, so...
got a nice hook by the Thresh, but anyway, we'll follow up. Ash hits level 2.
This is a
Yeah.
scenario where you see Hecarim turn right back around and go mid?
You could. He's gonna. I think we have a spectator bug in terms of the CS. Heck's about to finish its full clear. Wukong has not full clear. Oh my gosh, this Cassiopeia is so far up. They're just waiting to clear some minions for a second.
They just want to thin that wave a little, probably. There
Right.
we go. Uh-oh.
But he's got red buff applied. Heck's not in the area.
Danger sense, just a little late there. No, going toward that bush, basically. They'll get
Yeah.
away. That's where
I
that
think-
TP comes in. When you get poked out of lane early, you might as well spend it.
Right. I wish Wukong had just gone. I know the wave wasn't in a good position, but imagine if he catches Cassiopeia, like at the caster minions, back in the lane, and he can run her down for an extra 500 pixels. Then she has to burn flash. As it was, she just wasn't far enough away from the turret to be able to get it. And I know, it's ugly to gank a lane that has a zillion minions. Oh my gosh, here's Heck on that Veigar roam. Oh, and
Oh,
Nice flash.
nice. That was great. It might not be enough, though.
Oh my gosh. What a
well
play! And this is that Conqueror. Oh, it's not enough.
But
Fighting
one
in
for
the
one
minion
there.
wave. Yeah, but that is a kill to a really strong meta champion that you didn't need to give. Did you see him fighting in the wave?
Yeah.
Just too much minion damage. You can't fight in a wave that big. But a really good gank by the Hecarim and a brilliant flash by the Vigar. If he gets hit by that knockback, he dies. And yeah, I know he died anyway, but it cost Anivia her flash, so kind of more of an even trade than going down.
And
TP's
it
back
let
to
the
lane.
counter jungle help put down some damage too during that whole time process when they were chasing.
We got a gank bot side. Hex here to counter. Oh, Tom took a lot of damage. And they're not able to get anything done, but it was at least Hecarim positioning in the right place, being at the right place at the right time. We've got Sek going in on the Cassiopeia, but she landed her E. Oh my gosh.
And I was a nice dodge there, but I don't think it's going to be enough. That AP versus AD plays out like it's supposed to.
Yeah, it was close, but Set ends up getting one punch too many. Cassiopeia going down. Did not burn her TP to get back to lane earlier. So, not the end of the world.
There we go.
The end of the world topside is when you miss farm. That's the end of the world, but if you don't miss farm, you're doing okay. Hecarim, man, another gank into the Thresh lane. Really hard to do. Yeah, it's just really hard to do.
Looks like Tom Kench got a little bit of gray health back there. Is kind of
Yeah.
stabilized. Did not need to recall. I was a little worried about that.
I think if the Tom goes first, maybe it can work, but without the Tom going first, that gank is, I just feels low probability to me. Vigar picked up boots, so now he's got Predator boots. Got a little tempo right here, but nothing really to do with it. Normally, when you've got Predator level 6, you're rocking and rolling, and you're ready to make a bot roam. But at this point, bot reset. Wukong's not on the map. Takes his first reset. Looks like he's working towards Trinity Force. So Vigar just gets to keep farming it out. But in the meantime, Anivia hits 6. So she...
And Caitlyn picks up a Moon Quiver, just staying a little extra time on that Nexus there to get that last drop of gold.
Yep, it's good, but
Good early buy.
Ash is gonna have equivalent buy. Ash hasn't back yet.
Just higher CS there.
Yep. So it will be Noon Quiver plus boots, maybe. Yeah, I'm surprised the Anivia did not take TP. But her cleanse is on cooldown, so evidently she did use it prior. All right, level 6, level 6 top side. Now I think the Cassiopeia has enough mana to actually be able to use her range advantage a little bit. I also think, given that the wave is pushing out, that Set and Wukong have a pretty easy all-in 2v1. Just has to let this wave come in. But there should be an opportunity there. On the flip side, blue side is pushing bot lane. Going to be... oh no, maybe it's frozen on the bot side. Yeah, it looks like they're rotating towards Dragon on the red side. Ash firing hot shot will spot out the Vigar. Oh,
It looks like they're going to go for a topside counterplay there.
yeah,
Just
that
let
top
that
side-
first Drake go.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about with the cast pushing up, being kind of vulnerable. I didn't see the fight, but maybe it was just too quick for the camera.
Be one plate and an easy recall.
One plate, maybe. Sets are greedy. Sets sometimes stay for plates.
Okay.
I don't think he's going to stay for more than one, though. I think you're right. Also,
Buy would be
burned,
good.
Cassiopeia burned TP, so she's not going to be... She's going to be walking the lane. Oh, I'm right. He greeds for
Oh,
two.
you're right. That is so
God.
greedy. That's awesome,
But
though.
come on, look at the damage. Set
I love
does
the
like
greed.
insane damage to turrets. I don't even understand it. Yeah, I know he's got some bonus damage on his Q. Heck trying to move in. Oh, he's dead. Heck's
Oh.
right here.
And yep, that is a tower shot and just a little follow-up damage. Just needed a little love tap there.
I'm not even sure the Wukong mattered. I think Vigar could have taken that one on his own. Ends up going 2 for 1. I am sorry, Anivia. You have been betrayed. Betrayed by your jungler.
It's starting to be a significant lead for blue side here.
Yeah, we're looking at 2K, almost 2K for blue side. We've got a 1-0-1 set with a 10 CS lead. We've got a 3-0-1 Wukong even in farm, but that is a huge number for a really strong meta jungler. Incredibly disruptive. Vigar did die early, but now bounced back 1-1-2 even on a little bit ahead in CS. And bot lane's relatively easy. We got Noon Quiver to Noon Quiver plus crit Cloak. I forget what that's called. I'm not an ADC. But Ash
Remind me
has-
remind me range on the Thresh hook. Is that similar to a Blitzcrank? Nautilus?
quite as far.
Quite as long? Like
Yeah,
a
it's
like
pretty
a
long,
pike?
though. Oh, it's longer than pike. Here we go, Wukong, go and knock everybody up. Oh, what an escape.
And escapes handily.
All right, so where's red gonna get their leads now? It's tricky. It's tricky.
Missed what happened in that fight where Cassiopeia died. It'd be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah, here we
I
go.
have another
Hex,
one coming up soon here.
Yeah, Hex going for like a sneaky counter or 1v1 move. But this only works if the set like all-ins or the wave pushes out. But what you want to do here is you want to send Cass to like trade crazy, like she doesn't know what she's doing. And then you want to bait the set to going in, but right now Set's not buying it. He knows his jungler's on the other side of the map. He's
Do
pinging
a
for
pretty good job
assistance.
setting up.
He just smelled it out. He knows Hex here. He knows.
Oh,
Here
and
we
then they're
go.
going, but
I know, but
Wukong's gonna be there in
Wukong's
time to
close
counter.
enough. Wukong's
Yep.
close enough. It doesn't matter. Here we go. Oh,
Yeah,
where's
this
the,
is bad.
there's the Wu ult. You know,
They're still at half health each.
that was the set show, ladies and gentlemen. Played to perfection. That was not the Wukong show. That was the set show. Wukong was just there to have a little fun, but like, not getting baited, smelling out the jungler. I don't think they had wards anywhere. He just understood from positioning and wave, and his jungler showed bot side, so he needed to play conservatively on the top side. Just brilliantly played by Set to understand what was going on macro-wise and the limits of his champ, and be patient and wait. And then he goes in, starts fighting at exactly the right time. He knows how long he can 2v1, and he knows that that's long enough for Wukong to kind of come in.
Yep. Two more
Oh,
plates.
Cass has a chance of alling in here.
A little bit of a punish though.
Don't stop
I don't
fighting. Don't
know.
stop fighting. Keep fighting. Keep fighting. He's used everything. Oh, keep fighting. You got Kong stacked. You can go. It is really, really, really hard to fight when you're losing a trade. But there are some trades that after you lose them, they don't have anything left. Set has relatively long cooldowns. Nice trade either way. Set has to reset. But yes, we had it pointed out that there's only one plate left topside. If we look at gold here, that set has to be sitting on 4.5 compared to the Cassiopeia's 3. Full 1,500 gold lead in the top side. That is huge. Also, 1K in the jungle spent. So, you know, if I'm blue side sitting at 7-1, sitting pretty, just looking to make plays where you can and collect those drakes. Anivia's got good wave clear, but she doesn't pressure kills. Vygar's happy to just sit and farm out under turret, load up those Q stacks. Looks like we might see some dragon action. What do you
They're
think?
sweeping and rotating. I think so. I think Red
Set
Side's
does
gonna go
not
for it
have
again.
TP.
Oh. On the other hand, you know, I don't think the Cassiopeia wants to leave that lane just yet because it's gonna go get another, not just a plate, but a whole other tower if they let him.
It's true, but you're leaving out a champion that strong. Oh my god, this could be a bad face check. Here we go. We got a stun onto the Thresh. Ashe is firing. They get the pick onto the Thresh. Wukong says we take it. We take it 2v4. Here we go. Let's see how it goes. Vygar and Wukong versus 4. This is League. Numbers matter. Can't take a 2v4. It did drop the Herald prior to taking that fight. Pick up at least 2 plates there for the Wukong. But it does look like Red Side gets to take the dragon off of that slight mistake.
And I believe there was some shutdown gold on the Wukong.
Had to be, right? He was 4-0-2 going in. Definitely had to be some gold going over. And it looks like Vygar stays for extra plates. Despite them
Nick
taking
Cage.
dragons. There's no way he limps out here, right? Come on.
I think he does.
Stun
I
over
think
the
he does.
wall.
I always gotta believe you can walk away with low health.
With low health and crappy boots? Come on.
He's got it. He's out of there.
Well played, well played. I hear Hex fast, but not fast enough to catch that Vygar. It was a good cage. It was a good defensive cage. No doubt about that. Well placed. All right. So, 3K gold lead for blue side.
Yeah, it's not getting smaller, although that helped a little bit. That was a
That
good play.
definitely helps. It postponed Soul as a win condition. And it put a lot of shutdown gold into the pockets of red side. So, you know, that was obviously like a huge turning point. Like, you just have to not take man down fights. I impress that upon my high school kids. The fundamental rule of League is you don't take fights man down. Here we go. Wukong all-inning the Anivia. Nice. Everfrost.
Block. Ooh, and it's under towers. You can't hit that down.
I
So
think
Carnage
Vygar
and
was
bot
able to
lane.
clean it up. But then there is a play in the bot side. Nice kill onto the ADC, and Tom limps away. So trade of kills mid laner for ADC. Ashe is pretty strong, 201. Got his mythic finished, but the map's kind of falling apart mid lane. They rotated Cassiopeia just to cover that mid wave.
At this point, I
But-
like seeing the Wukong starting to invade that topside jungle. Now that that line of towers is down, the vision has moved forward. The
For
Hecarim's
sure.
going to really have a hard time defending those camps.
Oh, here we have another fight. And it looks like the Wukong takes out the Cassiopeia, just left with the Hecarim. 2v1. Oh, an
And I think the
ult.
Hecarim's got to realize that and just feel a little tilted and defensive, knowing that those towers are down and the whole topside is wide open.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a tough spot. But that Wukong, you got to kind of move as a team. You got to be aware where he is kind of at all times. He's just too much of a threat. But you're right. They set up deep vision, pinks everywhere, and were able to kind of get in and get that fight that they were looking for. All right, we've got Cleanse available on Anivia at 15 minutes. I want to see how long it is before Cleanse is used, because I guarantee you should be using TP on cooldown just to kind of reset for lanes.
I agree. Hey, what would you do at this point to try to counter Set, just doing a split push, while the rest of the team can take the team fight?
I mean,
They don't have a
Gotta-
good answer, right?
well, you got to deal with the waves when you can. I actually think Cassiopeia will eventually be able to match just fine. She's good into bruisers, built Leandries. Leandries good into bruisers. So losing your outer against a big, strong top laner with a lead is actually a blessing. I think that makes it so much easier because top laners over push and they go to push against the inner turret without proper vision, and then you send 3 or 4 or however many
Just
you need to
collapse.
send, and you collapse, and that's really the only hope. Like right now, that's pushing, doesn't have enough vision on the jungler, so he doesn't feel safe. So yeah, he farms some Krugs, but it's not a big deal. Anivia's going to pick up the wave, and it looks like red team is trying to make a play on the bot side. Here's the Wukong. Oh, get out of there, Tom. You're 1v3. Oh, the hook. The
You know,
flash.
Hecarim's just got to abandon him at this point. Run, Hecarim, run!
Wukong will
A
not
little bit
be
of indecision
stopped.
there. Good defensive Asher.
I mean, this is without Vygar, so there was potential for red team to take a numbers up fight, but it just didn't quite materialize. Looks like blue side should be able to take bot tower, and they have regrown their lead. Got it down to 3k after that miscue around Dragon, but it's back up to 6 at this point.
I think the thing going through Tom Pinch's mind may be just getting some vision control in the river there. Trying to get something in that bush so they can see what's coming with the dragon fight coming up in about 26 seconds here.
Right, I mean, I think they're going to fight.
was-
They had success over it. They've got 2 Drakes. We're going to see a big fight here at Dragon, I think, for sure.
I don't know, if I were blue, I'd definitely take the fight. If I were red, I think I would. Everything to avoid it.
These thresh hooks are just brutal, and they landed onto the Hecarim. Set goes all in. We've got Everfrost coming out from the Vygar. Wukong picks up. Set picks up another kill. Kate ult comes out, not quite enough to take out the Tom, but they're able to rotate for Drake.
And what do you
Man.
think about the synergy between a Thresh hook into a Vygar cage? Was that what happened there, or was it just a standard cage?
I think it probably was a hook into cage. I mean, Thresh is, I mean, he's amazing in chokes. I don't know. This Thresh is just doing an incredible amount of work. It's a nice pick. I think it's one of his misplay champs. He's clearly got the expertise on it. Only 3 assists at this point of the game, but every one of those hooks is kind of critical. The follow-up is also there. They're kind of moving as a unit. It's just good cohesive play. I mean, you and I picked this team, right? We looked at the set, the Wukong, the Vygar. We thought that this was a comp that would be relatively easy to execute and has clear team identity, win condition around 5v5, team fight with big ults, and it's ended up playing out a lot like we had expected.
It just seems more forgiving. Like, they can take a fight they want, they can disengage if they don't. They have the hit points to absorb a couple shots if they misplay. And the other team is kind of that razor's edge right now.
If they're still on the Razor's Edge, I'm not sure.
They may have been. Who knows? Never know what happens.
True. They took a dragon fight down 4 or 5k and were able to turn it around.
Nope.
All right. Yeah, there are some shutdowns available, bounties on the outers. We've got 450 on the Vigar, only 150 on the Wukong. Why is there only a 150 bounty on the 616 Wukong?
That bounty got cleared when it was 402.
So this is
It's
the
only 2 new
regrown
kills.
bounty.
Yeah, it's the regrown.
And then 350 on the set.
And Set's got a bounty as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a top play here. Like, Cassiopeia...
Just send so many people up to do it, though.
Yeah, but you've got a Nivea, so you send a Nivea to wave clear mid. Cassiopeia got the wave in. Vigar can't join. You put 4 up against the set, and you pray that that buys you another 2 minutes of not losing any objectives. Here we go.
There they go.
Ash, arrow, arrow.
Wukong coming in for a flank.
Wukong gets on the Ash, but it's not enough. This is 2v5. This is fine. Vigar's coming in late with the TP, but I think this is the best fight you're going to get here.
Yeah,
Zed
they're gonna go
punches
1 for
one
2.
to death.
Ooh,
Vigar
no,
kills
it's
one.
happening too slow. Here comes blue team. Cavalry's coming in for the rescue. Cavalry
Oh,
not being Hecarim.
Cleanse saves the Anivia.
There
I
we
think that was-
go. The cleanse has been redeemed.
It has. I can no longer malign the cleanse. I think that was
I like it.
brilliantly played by Red Team. Like, great, fantastic play. So, it's one of those things that people don't think about in League, about when you're down, taking kind of low probability plays. Like, the bar for a play when you're down is not, 50-50. The bar to make a play might be 80-20 or 90-10 when you're down. It just depends. You just want to take something that has a probability of success. So even though they went 1 for 2 and the play didn't work out quite like they had hoped, they got the set shut down. And I think that was one of the best opportunities they were going to get. Here we go. They got another move.
Look at this
in
chase
on the bot
coming in.
side.
This Tom
Trying-
Pinch move is going through that cage and thresh hook.
He's pretty tanky.
A pretty slippery fish too.
But I like it. I think Red's got ideas. Down almost 10k, but still fighting, still macro, still trying to collapse and doing all the right things. Oh, Vigar has caught.
There goes
The heck,
full
but-
combo.
He doesn't have the damage.
Doesn't
Come
quite
on.
overkill it.
Counterplay. He did pick the tank.
Not gonna be enough time there. And this at a time when blue looked like they were trying to force a fight around Baron, just posturing, I think, but definitely fighting.
Yeah. But then Wukong moves in and they get 2 back. 719 on the Wukong. Just huge in terms of items. And it looks like they're going to turn to Baron, which makes a lot of sense. I don't think Ash, Anivia, and Heck can contest. Actually, not because they can't fight, just because they're not in position. Anivia is actually fantastic fighting against Baron because she can just ultimate the entrance of Baron and everybody just gets their life sucked away. But the waves aren't in good position. They're down a man. It's too much for them to get in a tank.
And that being an early Baron, it goes down pretty fast.
It does.
So who do you think's going in for highest damage this game?
Probably the Wu.
Ooh, okay. I was gonna think that too.
Wukong does a lot of AoE damage. And he's been killing
And
everyone. And those
Set
two things
most
will put you
absorbed
top
and
of the
mitigated.
damage. Say again?
Set probably most absorbed and mitigated.
Probably. He's
Doesn't
the
care.
front line. Yeah. Got a stun, but
And yep, it's got Guardian Angel now too, so
on the Wukong, yeah, still twice. We've got a 3v5 here.
that is
I will
messy.
say, yeah, Blue Team really loves taking these man-down fights.
This
that
is
work
kind of
be-
where you want like a Fizz Yone just to clean up, but this time. As well anyway
Yeah.
though.
I mean, it's just a numbers check at this point. Like, there's just too much gold on too many on that Wukong in that set. It takes forever to kill them, even as a 5-man team. They didn't let the Cassiopeia scale. The Ash is not you know, a super high damage AD carry. We're not looking at a Vayne here, and it's just tough for them to get through. I mean, they won't be able to touch Wukong or Set until he gets Lord Dom's the Ashe. So, and it doesn't look like that's his next item. So he's really waiting for like 4 items before he gets Pen. I don't know. It could be a. What do you think Ashe's 3rd item is? Maybe.
That could be a Ginsu's for that on hit.
Ginsu's would be okay. Maybe a Bork. Bork for the Set Wukong. We'll have to see. Meanwhile, we've got a pick onto the Kate. We got an Ashe ult right in the face, and we have no cleanse from the Kate, so she does go down. Oh my gosh, Ashe brilliantly kiting it out. Can we get the Wukong too? We get the GA. Stay in it, guys. Stay in it, guys. This is your best chance.
It's starting to turn. The
Oh.
reinforcements have arrived. It was a great start to the fight. I kind of think Red needs to play a really quick fight and then get out of there, because the blue team has been responding really well.
They have. How did the Wukong not go down? Man, oh, he did. He had GA. Yeah, the GA makes it tough.
Nice
Not
block
gonna
there.
lie.
Makes him go around a little, slow him down. So, coaching strategy I've tried in the past is to set a win condition with your team when you're kind of in this state where it's 10 versus 24. Be like, okay, you guys win if you survive until 29 minutes.
I like it.
You guys win if you get 1 pick on each person on the other team before the Nexus goes down. It's getting pretty lopsided now.
It is. It is. The win conditions when you're down 13, 14k in an ninja bar are thin for sure. Yeah, it's times like this where I like to send somebody to split to their death.
Yep.
If you have a player that's only worth like 100 or 200 gold but can still clear waves, sometimes it can be worth just sending that champion down to the Nexus. And sometimes that champion's me. On Malzahar, just clearing waves, running into the Nexus, drawing 3 or 4 or 2 or however many while your team stalls out the map. But at this point, they don't have a split pusher strong enough to match the set. The set's 937, sitting on 3.5 items. So it's not really a viable strategy for them to try and break their team fight comp and try and go into a side lane.
Think about
at this
using the
point-
Hecarim as a hit and fade.
I mean, they are able to get 1 pick, right? Ashe
I
has-
didn't just meant on minions and towers. Just get in there, push it way out, make somebody come, and then get out of there. It's the,
could be good.
oh, okay. Modern towers, though.
I think.
They'd have to
yeah.
overextend to do that, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough. They're going to defend with their turrets. Maybe they can get a pick onto the Caitlyn again, or the Thresh might be vulnerable enough. But they're just going to need something big there. I mean, there's always Cassiopeia ult. One of the most game-changing ults in the game for sure. Ooh, Predatoring in from the Veigar. Doesn't get the cage. He does. Everybody's stuck in that cage. Here we go. Taking the
It's a
fight.
haymaker.
You know, for a 4v5, that was a pretty good fight. Oof.
Taking aim.
They have the tower alive still.
Yeah, I mean, this is a fantastic defense. Let's see if Cassiopeia can get an ult down. There it is.
Oh, here comes the CC.
Unfortunately, Ashe was not able to follow up. Tom had already gone back to base. But it was a good ult by the Cassiopeia. It's just that she was still pushing topside, protecting against the super minions while the big fight happened. So, you know, they really chunked blue side hard, 4v5, which is kind of impressive. Just
This
wasn't.
Nivea might be overextending here. Yeah,
It looks
okay,
like-
they were baiting that. Yep.
She got Veigar ult out though. And it looks like they're going to be clearing waves while their last tower dies. Oh, we got another good cage. Definitely push for the win here. All next inhibitors down. You don't need to wait for the double supers. You can just push. Here's your 5v3. Oh, another threat hook. Heck initiates. Ashe drops ult. They get the set. Another thresh hook.
Defense is still going. They made it to 29 minutes.
Call that a win where I come from.
That is a possible win condition here. I don't know how ambitious they want to go, but that was a good defense.
What are you guys
Solid.
resetting for? It's only Ashe left. All right, other champs are spawning. They need to reset. They want to.
They're all pretty low.
Yeah.
Wukong might grab it on the way back.
Third Drake. Who cares about third Drake? There's no fourth Drake. I'd rather have the enemy blue buff. I tell this to my team when they're winning all the time, that no one ever lost a game because they reset. You can only lose games by staying when you're winning. So I can't complain. They got all this inhibs. They didn't feel like they could finish. They reset. You can't lose by resetting. You can only lose by overstaying.
We got the double super minions pumping out now. It's going to be incredible pressure.
Oh my gosh, are these guys gonna go to Baron? They are, aren't
Why
they?
not? Why not? They're, it's on the way.
You gotta be
It's taking
thorough.
too long.
It's okay. 16k gold lead. Sometimes you need Baron too.
It's just efficient jungle pathing. Everybody knows that. We gotta do it.
Did you know
Everything.
how the tiebreakers work in Play VS for high school?
No, I don't. We never quite got that far recently.
So it was gross. But in the old tiebreak system, I think they kind of changed it for the spring. It was the number of turrets, dragons, barons, and nexuses. Each gave you a tiebreak point.
Oh, so some teams would clean up everything then, rather than
My
just get the
team,
kill.
my team would just like take everything because we understood how it worked, and you never know when a tiebreak point either gets you into playoffs or takes you out of playoffs. But it was really like a bad, encouraged like full cleanups and kind of methodical finishes. They changed it. It doesn't work like that anymore, I don't think. But this is the kind of game we would play back in those days, where you take the Baron, you take the Dragon, you back for Soul, you go ahead and get the respawn inhib, and then you finish.
Oh, that's not fun for the other team though.
Yeah.
Well, we've seen a little bit of KDA chasing too on teams that are stomping us hard.
Oh yeah.
I always encourage people just to take the Nexus out as fast as you can. Of course, if you're the losing team, just keep it up as long as you can.
I mean, I like the Ashes play. I think the Ashe had a really great game here. Get that kill. Oh.
Oh, so close.
Games.
All right, GG
know.
everybody.
GG guys. Good game. Good play on both sides. Let this be a lesson to everybody. Don't leave Wu unbanned. Wu is disgusting. He's getting nerfs next patch, but man, is that guy strong right now. Really fun game to cast. Thank you so much for having me, guys. I'm hoping to join Coach Rivals in the fall as a player, but I'm happy to pitch in and cast every now and then.
And if you're just tuning in, that is Tier 1. That was Game 2. And that was Let Us Win versus Straight Outta Grompton, with Let Us Win taking that.
Absolutely. We wanted to talk about highlights. What do we got? What did we like about the game? Can we get the stat screen from the?
I like that we were right on our predictions on draft.
Yes. It's
Always feels good to guess correctly, you know?
It is
I
always
think we're
nice.
shooting over 50-50.
All good, all good. I feel like the really impactful moment for me for this game was that when Wukong picked up those early kills. Wukong moving into the top side, and some of the set play just really kind of started off the snowball. I felt like, both junglers were like moving and feigning and punching, but Wukong got the first knockdown and kind of, leads the snowball game. You got to be really careful. People get out of control, and he just kind of pushed that lead really, really hard. So that was really like the most impactful moment was those topside ganks with the set.
We were predicting Hecarim would just run in circles around mid and take out the Vygar, but Vygar played pretty safely. Got a couple good cages out, and that didn't do as much damage as we thought it might. So,
Yep, he was not quite able to get in. I mean, I think Hecarim was kind of constrained. Like, Cast isn't going to have the good gank set up, and, the Tom lane against Thresh is a huge counter to Hecarim because he can flay you out of your knockback. So, he just really didn't have the same options that Wukong had. Wukong could go into any lane. He was really stuck going mid lane or counter ganking, which is a bit more of a bit taller order for sure.
Wukong had a couple counter ganks as well, just to add some insult to injury there.
The mid one, that one was definitely tough. Yeah.
All right, so I hear there's some Rocket League coming up on Saturday, and thank you everybody for tuning in and supporting the channel.
Absolutely. It was a blast being here, guys. Thank you guys so much for having me. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it.